For 3 years, every single night at exactly 2 a.m., a Persian cat named Saffron walked alone through a dark and silent house, carrying the same toy, making the same sound, stopping at the same doors. Her family called the vet twice. Both times they heard the same answer: she's perfectly healthy. But the crying never stopped. Not once. Not for 3 years. They had no idea what she was trying to tell them until the night they finally set up the camera. It started with a sound nobody could explain. Not a meow, not a hiss, something in between. Low, long, almost like someone trying very hard not to cry but failing anyway. It came from the hallway, every night, always at 2 a.m., always the same. The first time it happened, the family assumed Saffron had gotten herself stuck somewhere. She was, after all, a Persian cat, and Persians, with their enormous clouds of caramel fur and their short, flat faces and their complete indifference to your personal schedule, have a remarkable talent for finding trouble in rooms you didn't think trouble could exist in. They turned on the lights, they checked every room, they found her in the hallway, completely still, staring at nothing, her golden fur glowing soft in the dark. She had her toy in her mouth, a small orange felt fish with googly eyes and a crinkle inside that made a ridiculous sound every time she bit down on it. She'd owned that fish for 2 years and treated it with the seriousness of someone carrying a state document. She looked up at them, made that sound again, low, strange, mournful, and walked away. They went back to bed. They assumed it was a one-time thing. It was not a one-time thing. 3 weeks later, they still hadn't slept through the night. Their daughter, 11-year-old Claire, started closing her door at night. Her father, James, started going to bed with earplugs. Her mother, Rebecca, started writing down the exact time it happened every night in her phone notes app. 2:03 a.m., 1:58 a.m., 2:01 a.m., 2 a.m., like clockwork, never more than a few minutes off. Saffron had come into this family 4 years earlier from a Persian cat breeder across the state. She'd been the quietest one in the litter, sitting slightly apart, watching, radiating an energy that could only be described as deeply unimpressed with everything. Rebecca had pointed at her and said, "That one." James had looked at the price tag and said, "Are you sure?" Rebecca had already filled out the paperwork. Saffron settled in slowly, suspiciously, and then, all at once, she claimed the left armchair within the first week and never relinquished it. She developed strong opinions about meal times, starting 45 minutes before the bowl was due. She discovered that sitting in the bathroom sink and staring at whoever was brushing their teeth would make them leave. She was not cuddly, exactly. She was present, appearing beside people who needed her. Not loudly, not dramatically, just close, just there. The orange fish had been Claire's idea, a birthday gift wrapped in tissue paper. Saffron sniffed it once, carried it under the bed, and 2 days later, it emerged and never left her side. Nobody thought much about the toy until 2 a.m. started happening. They took her to the vet after the second week. Heart, lungs, teeth, spine. Saffron sat through all of it with the expression of someone enduring a very long and unnecessary inconvenience. "She's in perfect health," the vet said. "Sometimes cats vocalize at night. It's usually nothing." "She's always carrying a toy when she does it," Rebecca said. The vet paused. "That part is actually interesting. I'd pay attention to that." They went home. The crying continued. James started staying up, not on purpose at first. He'd lie awake, listening, waiting for it, and then he'd hear it start, that low sound moving through the dark house, and he'd watch the doorway. Every time Saffron would appear, every time the fish was in her mouth, every time she'd set the toy down gently on the floor and leave. He didn't tell Rebecca right away. He thought maybe he was imagining the pattern. He started leaving his bedroom door slightly open just to see what would happen. Saffron pushed it open with her flat face, walked to his side of the bed, set the fish down, and walked out. Every night, the same side, the same spot. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, I see you. That genuinely makes me a little sad. Hit subscribe right now. You're going to want to see how this ends. It was James who finally set up the camera. He positioned it in the hallway at 11 p.m. on a Thursday, angled towards Saffron's usual path. He went to bed. He did not sleep. The footage began moving at 1:47 a.m. Saffron emerged from Claire's room first. She moved through the dark with the unhurried confidence of someone who owned the night and knew it. The orange fish already in her mouth, its googly eyes catching the faint light from the street lamp outside. She stopped at the bottom of the stairs, looked up, looked back down the hall. Then she turned and walked directly to James and Rebecca's room. She pushed the door open with her head. She stood beside the bed for a long moment, completely motionless, the toy hanging from her mouth. Then she set it down, gently, carefully, right next to Rebecca's side, and walked back out. James watched the footage 4 times before he said a word. Rebecca watched it once and went very quiet. They sat at the kitchen table in the early morning light, the orange fish sitting between them, and neither one spoke for a long moment. Because what they were watching wasn't confusion, it wasn't pain, it wasn't some unexplained behavioral mystery that 2 vets and 3 weeks of lost sleep had failed to solve. It was a gift. Cats are hunters by nature. When a cat loves someone, truly, in the way Persian cats love, which is quiet and stubborn and permanent, they bring them what they have, whatever matters most to them. Saffron had no prey. She had one orange felt fish with googly eyes, and every single night, without fail, she made her rounds. Claire's room first, because Claire had chosen her, then the adults, the fish left by Rebecca, a moment at James's side, long enough to make sure he knew. She wasn't crying, she was singing. That low, mournful sound isn't distress, it's what cats do when they're carrying something important, an announcement older than language, a declaration. Look what I have, look what I'm bringing you. This is mine and you are mine. They stopped worrying after that. Instead, they started listening differently. That sound, the one that had kept them awake for 3 years, sent them to 2 vets, cost James weeks of sleep, didn't sound like crying anymore. It sounded like love. The most Persian kind of love there is. Quiet, stubborn, slightly dramatic, and absolutely non-negotiable. Claire understood it best, the way children always do. She's just doing her rounds, she said one morning, Saffron curled beside her on the couch, the fish abandoned on the cushion between them. She's making sure everyone knows she's thinking about them. That was exactly it. The fish is worn now. The googly eyes are lopsided. The crinkle inside barely makes a sound. Saffron carries it with exactly the same care, every night, without fail. If you share your home with a cat, pay attention to the habits that seem strange, the 2 a.m. sounds, the toys left at your door. What looks like mystery is usually something much simpler, a cat who loves you, telling you so in the only language she's ever known. Does your cat have a strange nighttime habit you've never been able to explain? Tell me in the comments.